with what God has in his sovereignty placed in your lap as a 36-year-old black man, that a lot of times we are wired in ways that we didn't ask for, but that does not limit us from still being our best. My son has potential in his pinky that I don't possess in my whole body. Cole, gifted, talented, good looking. And it is important for him to win because he's my son. If my son don't win, there's not an accomplishment on this planet that will ever matter. If my son doesn't win, my son has to win in life. If my son doesn't win, everything in my life is an, which is a whole nother layer.
Right.
And it's a layer that you never feel like you can win, because the reason why it's hard to win the religious pressure is because it's so nuanced. It's so nuanced because everyone that is religious is not monolithic. So there are different variations of what right and wrong is, even within the subtext of the subculture. Right. And so that becomes even a more pressure, because if you're Pentecostal, there's a critique. If you're AME, there's a critique. If you're apostolic, there's a critique. If you're Seventh Adventist, there's a critique. There's always a critique within the subcultures of the subculture. And so that, along with whatever platforms that God has been kind enough to loan me, my children and my spouse, I know have had their life's issues with being connected to me.
Picture, when he comes into the hotel, you tell him the news. It was so much. He came in so strong, and then all of a sudden, boom, you show him the phone, and then boom, it just crumbles. And then y'all have this father-son moment where both of you guys are on the floor, and it's just giving me goosebumps just thinking about it. Just as a father, you just reach out and touch your son. And I don't care how old you get. I don't care how crazy you think you is. You're still my son.
My son.
And y'all had such a beautiful exchange there where he even said, this is the only thing that I'm missing. So the acknowledgement is there. And I think the story isn't crazy.